Hello, and welcome to the second episode of Heart to Heart with Joyous J. Today, I want to talk to you about rediscovering me. And I'm going to talk about rediscovering me because I want to encourage you to rediscover yourself. Now, before I could truly chart a new direction for my life, it was important to take time to examine my current state and, of course, revisit some parts of my past. Why, you may ask? Well, I discovered that unless I learned the lessons from the past, mistakes, the likelihood of my repeating them was high, thereby preventing me from attaining my desired goal to live a joyous life. Get the hint now? That's where Joyous J comes from. So, without acknowledging my current circumstances, I would shortchange myself. Now, don't get me wrong. Nothing about revisiting the past is easy. To live a joyous life didn't mean I wouldn't still experience trials and tribulations. It just meant that the mature me would respond differently to the trials of life. So, if you desire to live a joyous life as well, then buckle up and get ready for the ride of your life. You may ask, so where I began? May I suggest you start by setting aside some quiet time without TV, radio, or the company of other people. Grab a cup of coffee, tea, or another favorite drink. Of course, as long as it's not alcohol, you don't want this process to be impaired in any way. Grab a notebook, diary, or your laptop. At the top of the page in bold letters write, the key event that has had a negative effect on my life. Now I want you to take your time and write it all down. And once you've finished writing all that down, then the next thing is I want you to answer these three questions. Number one, am I ready to take this negative and turn it into a positive? Number two, if I have allowed others to determine my lot in life, am I ready to take back control? Woohoo! And finally, number three, am I willing to do the work to be the best me? Now, only you have the true answers to these questions. Think about it and really dig deep within yourself to uncover the real answer. If the answer to the above is a resounding yes, then you're in the right place to begin to live a joyous life. I have just one question for you, though. This is different from the first three. This one's going to make you think. Who are you? Now, before you begin to answer this question, let me set the stage for you. You've just entered a room full of very interesting people. Everyone is smiling, laughing, and talking about a variety of subjects. While you stand there observing, you're trying to decide which group you'd like to join. Of course, there are butterflies in your stomach and you're fighting the urge to run and take flight in the opposite direction. But don't. Tell yourself, I can do this. I can make conversation with anyone. But right before you take that next step, you spot the way to the ladies' room and quickly make your way there. Once inside, you stare at the person looking back at you. I know that's something I've done in the past. I've looked over the last 20 to 30 years of my life and wonder, where did all the time go? In my mind's eye, I could see my children from the moment they were placed in my arms until the day I saw them off to college, to military, or just across town to their own place. Fleetingly, you think about the son or daughter you witnessed getting married and begin a whole new life with another person. On that day, you were filled with joy and dread. Joy because you're so happy to see your child all grown up and beginning his or her own family. Because one of the goals of being a parent is to see your child be successful. But now the dread sets in because it's what shall I do with this time I now have on my hands? Well, if you're blessed to have someone to share your life with, you still have that same question. What are we going to do now that the house is empty except for us? That's a good question, don't you think? But a better question would be, what am I going to do with me? Where do I stand? What's important to me now that the children are grown? My biggest job has been completed. I've succeeded at that task. What do I do next? Well, you can find a hobby. That's true. And that takes a process of trial and error because you don't know really. You might like to read books or start learning painting or perhaps learn to play the piano. Nobody knows, only you. That to begin, you've got to learn to rediscover yourself. I know for me, rediscovering me put me in places I never dreamed I'd be. I joined the drama ministry at my church. That was quite a tale. But see, I had a trick. You see, without my glasses, I can't see. Not very far anyway. So to help tamp down the butterflies in my stomach, I would just perform without my glasses. That way, if someone laughed at my performance or if they were staring too hard, I didn't know because I couldn't see. Kudos to me. I enjoyed that so much. The point I'm making is that you have to figure out what it is that draws your attention. You might be passionate about something, but you never know until you take the time to sit down and discover it. And the best time to discover that is sitting alone with yourself. Now, I know the pandemic has really played a part in us being by ourselves or being in a very small group, but that's okay. You still have an opportunity to discover who you are. For me, being a wife, mother, grandmother, sister, sister-in-law, aunt, and friend are just a small part of what makes me who I am. I consider myself a complex individual with likes and dislikes as anyone else may have. I'm unique to me though. I can be happy with just my own company, or I can be relaxed and comfortable in a room full of diverse people. I have opinions about the world around me, and I have causes that are dear to me. I'm a writer, a published author, speaker, workshop seminar facilitator, evangelist, and life coach. Together, it all makes a whole me. So again, I ask, who are you? If you have to think too long, then it's time to do some work. Start discovering what makes you tick. See what interests are dear to you so that you too can walk into a crowded room and know without a shadow of a doubt exactly who you are. All of us have different sides of our personalities. There's the kind and good person. There's the dependable and secure person. There's the insecure, need a helping hand person, and so on. But in spite of all those different sides of us, there will always be a dominant side. So how do you determine what your dominant side is? If that side is not the side you want to be, the dominant one, is it possible to change? I think so. My philosophy has always been if there's something about me I don't like, then as long as there's life in my body, I can make a change. First, of course, you have to be certain that it's something that requires changing. If it is, then in the process of changing, please be certain that you're doing this for yourself and not anyone else. I believe that if I hold a candle to myself and see all my imperfections, then I would be less likely to try to hold a candle to someone else. After all, I'm busy bringing the best me to the forefront. Then I can't possibly do that if I'm trying to help someone else be what I think is their best self. Did you catch that? The key phrase in that last sentence? Well, just in case you missed it, trying to help someone else be what I think is their best self. Write this down and never forget it. Because it is not for us to determine what another person's best self is. That's their job. You can offer guidance and support if asked. Otherwise, keep your focus on you. So, here are a few statements to ponder. Don't just ponder them though. I want you to answer them. Don't worry, the questions are not a test to be graded, but they can serve as a guidepost so you can plot your own course so that you too can live a joyous life. Know yourself better than anyone else. So, here are a few questions I want you to think about and answer. I am easily misled by others in order to be accepted. I depend on others to satisfy my basic needs. I spend more time with people who define my self-worth. I spend more time dwelling on the shortcomings of others. I am comfortable standing up for what I believe is right. I react to situations based on what others think of me. I satisfy the needs of others before dealing with my own needs. And these last four. I try to control others as a means to feel good about myself. I spend time trying to adopt standards others have set for their lives. I have something to offer that can help someone else. When people disagree with me, it only means they don't like me. Wow, those are some deep statements. And I would love for you to take time to review each one and really look within yourself and determine if any of those statements pertain to you. It's important to rediscover yourself and to determine who yourself is. Sounds strange, I know, but think about this. Everyone wants a friend. We can lie to ourselves and say that's not true, that I don't have to have friends. Stop right now with that thinking because honestly, you know that is not true. So, what can a person do? It's really simple. Have you figured it out yet? Okay, I'll give you a few more minutes. Do you have it yet? Time's up. Here's the answer. First and foremost, be a friend to you. Let's just say that one more time. First and foremost, be a friend to you. And then the question becomes, how? Well, you're in luck. Today, I'm going to provide you with a little bit of what I've learned. And I want to suggest that you try a little exercise. Just a simple one. The next time you're in front of your mirror, looking at yourself, I want you to say, "Hi, friend." So, here's what I want to tell you to do, or at least suggest that you do. Always be true to yourself. You are the one person you should be able to depend on for honesty more than any other person. So don't sugarcoat things. Be honest. It's only through this honesty that you carve out what's not needed and graft in the most important things you'll ever need. Stop comparing yourself to others. We are all unique individuals, and as such, we should never compare ourselves to anyone else. What one person has accomplished should not dictate what you have or can accomplish. There's nothing wrong with seeing the success of others and wanting to succeed as well. The trick is not to base your life on what another has done. Accept things you can't change. As much as we like to believe that we are the authors of our own fate, there will be plenty of times when things happen that you have no control over. Now, this doesn't mean that you're a failure, it just means that nothing you can do to change it. What you can change is how you react to those things. Clear headed, thoughtful, methodical, even tempered are just a few attributes that will serve you well when dealing with things you can't change. Focus on your strengths. We all have weaknesses that serve a purpose. They help to keep us humble. However, instead of focusing so much on those weaknesses, look at your strengths. I know it sounds weird, but many times a weakness can actually turn out to be your strength instead. Celebrate your strengths, cultivate them, and make them a part of your everyday existence. And finally, write your success stories. No one knows your success stories better than you. So write them down, revel in them, and don't keep them a secret. Share them so that they can encourage others to not give up. Share them with your family, children, and friends, even strangers. Your success story at the right time can give hope to someone who is close to giving up. And this one is really important. Forgive yourself. This one is really important and will help you prepare forward to live a joyous life. We have come to make light of forgiving ourselves because we're so attuned to forgiving others. That's important, true. However, the most important person to forgive, that's you. Please bestow that forgiveness to you. I can honestly say that the moment I grasped this, I was well on my way to my destination. I had a good start towards my desire to live a joyous life. I'd like to encourage you, in case you have a little time on your hands, if you would check out my book, Journey to a Fresh Start, Releasing the Junk, Revealing the Jewels. Once you read it, you'll understand what I mean about seeing how your destination pans out. The start is important, some. The journey is so much more important. And the ending, well, that's got all the bells and whistles. But you won't know. Whether it's the highs and lows, the people that come and go, it doesn't matter. It's important for you to discover your true self again. I certainly hope you'll take the time with that cup of coffee and tea and your journal in front of you and begin the process of rediscovering yourself. Until next time, I hope all your days be bright and wonderful as you discover the person within.